Joining me now, can't wait, Eric Branstad. Eric is the son, that's right, he is the son of former multi-term governor Terry Branstad of Iowa. And Eric, Terry also was the ambassador, Trump's ambassador to China. Trump won. And Eric knows what's going on. He is Mr. Iowa, and he was there yesterday. President Trump coming. He went to the machine shop, which I'm going to be in a couple weeks. And thank you for that. We're going to Iowa, Eric, as you know, 1 week from next week. I think it's the week of the 8th. We're going to be there the whole week. Looking forward to seeing you there in person on the Trump bus. But look, you were there. I got pictures. You were front and center, sitting right by the president. Tell us how it went. Tell us what your take is, Eric Branstad.
Well, well, thank you, John. It's a pleasure and an honor to be on your show. I'm actually right now, I'm across the street from the machine shed where the president was last night. I'm in my tennis attire at my tennis club called Genesis. So it's literally directly across the street. Everyone in Iowa was super excited yesterday. The president landed. I brought a lot of my farmer friends from all over the state. The president loves the farmers. He delivered on E15 yesterday, which means a lot to Iowa and means a lot to these farmers and these producers. So he's delivered. You know, when I was the Iowa State Director in 2016, we won by 9.6%, and now we've got them getting this last 2024 almost 14%. These are huge numbers in Iowa.
Went there when I was at Santa Barbara last week at the RNC winter meeting, and I asked one of the political directors in the White House, Lil, why are you going to Iowa to basically launch your, 2026 domestic economic agenda? And he says the president wants to go to Iowa because he loves Iowans. They're the center of the earth. They're great people. He loves the farmers. They've been with him in the past, but he said it's just a, middle class state, working class state that his economic policies resonate with as much as anybody. Explain that.
And Iowa was always considered state, always a swing state. What we did, what after President Trump in 2016, that Mississippi River corridor was always the blue working class Democrats. And after Trump in 2016, those are now they're now working class Republicans. And they've come out time and time again for the president. They have turned our Iowa legislature bright red. They've turned the state bright red. Now we have some big challenges with this midterm. We've got 4 incumbent Republican representatives, and we've got 2 Republican senators, one of which is up. Congresswoman Ashley Hinson is running for Senator Joni Ernst's spot. So it's going to be a big year in Iowa politics.
Well, you've also got a very competitive governor's race. Kim Reynolds, who I'm a fan of, even though she backed DeSantis, whatever, she was still a pretty good governor. And so I was always a Kim fan. Didn't like that move. Didn't know why she did that. Kind of hurt her status. I thought she could have been VP had she not done that, but didn't work out. But you got a very competitive governor's race there. Tell us about that.
Well, we've got Rob Sand, who's Iowa's auditor for the last 2 terms for the last 8 years. Democrat with Democrat ideas, raising a ton of money. I saw in his last report, 115,000 donors, and he's got over 9 million in the bank. Congressman Randy Feenstra, our lead here in Iowa running for governor, he had a record-breaking almost 4.5 million, but that's only half or a third of what his opponent is raising. So we've got a lot of work to do. I know Congressman Feenstra rode on Air Force One with the president to Iowa yesterday, likewise with Congresswoman Hinson. So I was excited to see them yesterday. They were as excited as certainly all of the crowds to see the president yesterday. But everybody is coming out of yesterday with ready to work and ready to roll.
Eric Branstad with us. Eric is a son of a former multi-term governor. He was two or three terms and then ran again and two or three terms again. A
Six terms.
six-term governor. That's unbelievable. His father, Terry Branstad, also. And you basically grew up in the governor's mansion, right, Eric?
So he was elected when I was 7 years old and retired when I was 23. Now that's only 4 terms. And then he took a 12-year retirement and couldn't take it anymore after a 10%. The previous Democrat governor cut the state budget by 10% after the downturn in the economy in 2008, destroying really the Iowa state government. Dad couldn't take it anymore, ran again in 2010, beat the incumbent, the Democrat, and won again in 2014 until he served in China for President Trump.
I would tell you, what an excellent career he's had, and he's been a supporter of President Trump from day one. So have you, Eric, and it's always good to see you when you come to DC. I can't wait to go to Iowa in a couple of weeks. It's going to be cold, but it's going to be fun. Let's get to a couple of President Trump's remarks in Iowa yesterday. Let's start with cut 8. President saying under his economic leadership, economic growth is exploding. Roll it.
We've got already Iowa GDP up 5%. That was just released a couple days ago. That matches, even exceeds where the country's going, and that number's great. So delivering on E15 in Iowa. Ethanol is a big deal in Iowa, and E15 makes our gas cheaper. And so when he was here yesterday, that's always been back and forth, kind of depending on what state you're coming from. But this is a big deal for Iowa. He certainly delivered in his remarks yesterday, and he's also helped. He reminded us yesterday too. He's always been there for the farmers when there's retaliatory measures from other countries on tariffs. You know what he does? He gives the farmers the money that they need to go forward. That's the kind of president this is. The farmers love him. When you travel across Iowa and every farm has a Trump flag. And, that's certainly due to everything that he's done for our great state.
Unbelievable. All right, let's get to a couple of his comments yesterday. Michael Coleman, let's get to President Trump on the economic resurgence that he believes his policy has created. Cut 8. Let's take a look.
Under my leadership, economic growth is exploding to numbers unheard of. They've never had them before in recent times, and now, and we're just getting started. The great, big, beautiful bill, which is no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security for our seniors. Do we have any seniors in here? Do we have any seniors in here? One of the fake news said he did that because he doesn't want to pay tax on his Social Security. Don't you believe? That's what I never thought of. These are sick people.
All right, let's go to 9. More on Trump saying that he cut Social Security so he didn't have to pay taxes on it. It's unbelievable. All right, go to 9, Mike.
Never had them before in recent times, and now, and we're just getting started. The great, big, beautiful bill, which is no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security for our seniors. Do we have any seniors in here? Do we have any seniors in here?
Let's get back to Eric. Eric, so listen, I mean, his speech yesterday, I saw it. I think he rolled everything out.
Yep.
But the fact that he did this in Iowa and wanted to basically launch his 2026 Save the Republican House campaign in Iowa had to make all of the Trump supporters in Iowa feel real proud of what they've done.
Well, the investment, he has brought investment to the United States. And I mean, to the tunes of, I think he was talking yesterday, like $18 trillion. We're starting to see that the golden age is starting to appear over the horizon. Folks are seeing that in every single number that they're looking at, and certainly, when you're looking at the gas prices, that was a big deal yesterday. I filled up last week for $1.89. I mean, I'm paying prices that I paid when I was in college, and I'm 50 years old. So, these are the kinds of things Iowans are seeing and feeling every single day. And that's why the state was so excited yesterday. The enthusiasm was like I've never seen it. And it is encouraging, very much so.
What was your number one takeaway from his speech yesterday, Eric Branstad?
I liked how he, well, first of all, he is able to, what I've always loved about the president is he promises what he says he's going to do. He delivers on those promises. So when he says he's going to do it, he delivers. And that's so important to Iowans, and that's so important to Americans when their politician tells them that they're going to do something and they go out and do it. We haven't had one of those for other than President Trump, really. I don't think since Ronald Reagan. So I mean, this is something that Iowans really care about and are really focused on.
When I was at the RNC meeting, the winter meeting in Santa Barbara, I talked to your Iowa Republican chairman, Jeff Kaufman, and
Great man.
great guy. I know he's been there a while, but he's done a super job with the party and in revitalizing it. But he said that he had a clear commitment from the Republican National Committee that the Iowa caucuses, the way they run them, being the first in the nation, would stay intact. As far as the Republicans were concerned, they were not changing that. Everything would be the same. Now the Democrats have already scrapped it. We don't even know what they're going to do. But he said that the RNC and the political team at the White House was absolutely committed to having Iowa as the first primary in the nation again. What is your reaction to that?
Well, first of all, no one's going to work harder than Jeff Kaufman. He is a fantastic chairman. He's a fantastic friend. He's going to keep Iowa first in the country. I also have written notes from the president to me that it is going to stay first in the country. So I am excited. The chairman and the president certainly keep Iowa first. It's so important to my dad. It's so important to the state, and certainly something that we are very good at doing, and we take that role very seriously.
Well, there's going to be a lot of candidates in that race, and JD Vance, obviously the favorite going in right now, is VP. But a lot of the one thing about Iowa, you have to go out there and campaign. It's 99 counties. People are expecting. It's kind of like New Hampshire. They expect retail politics. They expect town halls. They expect to go to diners. It's going to be tough for the VP to do that. And I mean, when George Bush ran in what was it, 98, Dole crushed him in Iowa. One of the reasons was his VP, he couldn't get out. How do you think that'll affect Vance?
I think, well, first of all, I think it will certainly be hard. It has certainly been tested before. It's the advantage. You're absolutely right. Iowans, there's an old saying that if a presidential candidate hasn't asked for your vote in your living room, then in Iowa, then you're not going to get that person's vote. I mean, that's how really granular retail, Iowa caucus politics is. And President Trump, you saw his rise, and I watched how those 75-person event rally turned really quick into thousands of people. It's really where those rallies got started was here in Iowa. The president really felt that. So I think that's very important. And I think someone who can't spend a lot of time and do that retail campaigning, I think it absolutely hurts them. And certainly yesterday, I love Vice President Vance, but yesterday, everyone was talking about Secretary of State Rubio and
Right.
how well he's doing and their love for him. So I think there's a lot of excitement for a lot of those leaders. And as we Iowans always say, come to Iowa early and often. And and build a big campaign and spend a lot of time here and spend money here, and we will host you and we will take good care of you, and may the best man win.
Well, that's why we're going there with the bus tour. We're going to be there the week February 8th. The Trump bus is going to be
I
there. You're
I
gonna
can't
you're
wait to
gonna
do
lead us
this in
off.
person.
I know you're going to lead us off on I guess it's Monday the 9th or whenever that date is. So we're excited. We'll be in Des Moines. We'll go from there. But you guys got some exciting things going on. And just so everybody knows, Eric Branstad ran Trump's 2016 campaign in Iowa. And I remember we went to the fair because everybody knows I was with him from the beginning. So we go to some fair. I guess that was the old straw poll fair or something. Now they don't have it. Ames, maybe, but you had some
Yes,
fair there.
The Ames straw poll is it was a long time big deal for the
You
Iowa
guys still
Republican
have that?
Party.
You guys still have that?
It kind of ran, it kind of, I guess, ran its course.
Yeah.
And it kind of became one of those, like, whoever has the most money has the most,
Right.
piece of it,
Yeah.
which makes sense. We might bring it back. I don't know. That would be a good conversation
I
with
thought it
Jeff
was fun. I
Kaufman.
mean, the last one I
It
went
it
to,
was super fun.
it was fun. The last one I went to was when Michelle Bachmann won Iowa. I don't remember when
Oh
that was.
yes,
In
yes.
2008, in 2012, maybe 11, 11, maybe.
I
Um,
think it was either 8 or 12 because I was definitely there.
it was eight.
And
No, it was 2012. It was 2000.
yeah,
It was 2011 run up to 12. I think Bachman beat Rand Paul in it, and it was the end of Tim Pawlenty because he spent all the money on. He got beat. He
well,
dropped.
that's just it. It's He spent all his money on the straw poll, and the great thing of what the straw poll did, it was always, it was the August before the January
Right.
caucus.
Right.
So what it was able to do really well was separate the men from the boys. And that is, the ones that had, that were able to fundraise and put a good organization together, they were really powerful in that spot.
And then I remember in 2016, in 2015 at the fair, President Trump brought his helicopter and was giving helicopter rides to kids. It was so brilliant. That kid, the helicopter would go up and the kids would go on it and they would go up and come back. And he got all those votes there. So Iowa, campaigning in Iowa is so much fun. And going to and look, yesterday he goes to the machine shop. He goes to that diner and Trump does what he did in order to win Iowa the second time. I think Cruz beat us the first time by 2%. That was a debacle there with what happened with the doctor drop. They said he dropped out, which he didn't. But he went to every single table at the diner and shook everybody's hand. Tell us about that.
It's that kind of retail politics that really works here in Iowa. And like my story from before, if you're not in my living room, then you're not going to get my vote type thing. That's just, it's very similar. I've also campaigned across, New Hampshire, very similar where, you got to go into the diners and you really got to talk to the people. And if in Iowa we have it's a real honor because we are able to, if you want to spend some time and get to know, all of the presidential candidates, you absolutely can. You have that opportunity. It's not too distant. It's close to you. And that's what makes it so special. And that's why we need to keep it number one. And I'll die defending it.
Eric Branstad, I want to thank you. I'm going to see you in a couple weeks in person. You can follow him at Branstad. And Eric, a former senior White House advisor at the Department of Commerce in Trump 1, and currently the partner at Branstad Churchill Group. Eric, thank you for being with us. I'll see you in a couple weeks live on the bus. You'll be kicking us off Monday at 7 a.m. February 9th.
You're the best. You're the best, John. Thank you.